Hi, this is Scott Fresener with t-biz Network. I just got back from the SGIA Expo in Orlando, Florida, and I wanted to give you a complete show wrap-up based on what I saw at the show. I was very pleased and surprised by the volume and the quality of attendees at the show this year. Over the years, SGIA has had ups and downs with attendance, and the garment sector has suffered at some shows. This year it was sure different. Frankly, I don't think I've ever seen as many people waiting to get into the show. It was like a giant herd of horses chomping at the bit to come rushing in. And in general, the aisles were very packed. The garment suppliers were always busy when I went by their booths, and the overall feel of the show was upbeat, and from what I hear, people were spending money, which is a good deal. SGIA is doing a nice job of promoting the garment sector, and I think the garment attendee numbers must be over last year's in Vegas. Yes, the who's who of large format were there, but it is what it is. Yes, you have to wade through the large guys like Canon, EFI, HP, and more while looking for screen printing, but with companies like M&R, Newman, Workhorse, Anatol, Lawson, Brown, and others showing their stuff, there was plenty to see for garment printers. Some of the busiest booths were companies showing direct-to-garment. It was very refreshing to see that DTG is not dead, and it could be going through a new resurgence. Epson introduced their new SureColor direct-to-garment printer, and every time I went by the booth, they were really busy. I watched the printer do a dark shirt print in just under 3 minutes, and I got a shirt sample that was really good. The ink was stretchable, had good opacity, but I haven't watched the print yet. Their claim is this machine is purpose-built, which means it's made specifically for the task of garment printing, and it has a 1-year warranty on the printhead, which is really great. They also claim the printhead was designed specifically for DTG inks. They announced at the show that they'd set up an industry dealer network of Stalls, Belkett, Equipment Zone, Axiom, All-American, and Lawson. They're not going to be selling this machine evidently through their normal inkjet channels, but through industry channels. This machine lists for around $20,000 and either comes with dual CMYK or CMYK in white. They seem to not be too focused on other items, and when asked about a cap attachment or other odd item attachments, you can see it drew a blank. In talking to 3 of these new Epson dealers, none had yet to see a machine, and they don't expect delivery until the first of the year. Other than Stalls, the rest of the dealers all have their own machines, and according to the dealer deal, they can still sell them alongside the Epson printer. It was still surprising that Epson didn't seem to have a RIP finalized yet, and unlike other DTG exhibitors, you could not give them a file to print. I talked with one of the well-known RIP developers who said they have a RIP for the machine, and they claim they could make it print faster and better than the RIP Epson's going to have. We'll see. I've written before that the Epson printer might be a game changer with their long head warranty and purpose-built machines. Then I'll admit I had a number of people ask me what DTG machine to buy, and I told them I thought they should wait until Epson printer is shipping. Time will tell, and it'd be nice to see how things shake out. Brother made a major announcement that they now have a more robust digital print factory software solution that easily gets orders queued up and sent to multiple machines and does a lot more stuff. They also rolled out their new pre-treated paper that has pre-treatment already on it. At $1 a sheet, it seems expensive, but I talked to one customer in their booth that said that after he'd worked with this paper, he'd never go back to spraying a shirt with pre-treatment. This might be one of those game changers that eliminates the dreaded and often unreliable step of spraying pre-treatment or using a pre-treatment machine. The regulars like Anajet, Cole Desi with their DTG line, and of course Corneat were there doing non-stop demos, and again, the booths were always very busy. I think the busiest garment printing booth would have to be M&R. They had the usual crowds, but what was unique was their digital screen room. There was a separate room with safe lights. It was almost like the old days of going into a dark room. It was pretty packed most of the show. They were doing non-stop demos of their automatic coder, computer-to-screen machines, and their new and revolutionary LED exposing unit. Think of the time savings. Coat a screen, inkjet with an image, and then expose it with no vacuum table or huge exposing unit. This is really slick. Rich Hoffman knows how to work a show, and he was holding court and giving demos himself almost non-stop. Computer to screen is still the flavor of the year, and Lawson and others had good interest in their machines. On the screen print side, there was an absence of the major ink companies with their own booths. Union Ink and Rutland were showing their products in dealer booths, and it seemed to be kind of the norm throughout the show. I was busy doing seminars on color separations, and both of my seminars had great crowds. The screen printing and digital printing zones on the show floor had good traffic also. Lawn Winners and others were doing non-stop demos and seminars right on the show floor, and the crowds were the biggest I've ever seen for these type of seminars. As with former SGIA shows, they can't seem to get the garment suppliers to exhibit. This is still pretty much a hardware and supply show with no soft goods. For that, you've still got to go to the ISS or Printware shows. I always look forward to judging the Golden Image Awards garment entries, and this year I was also a judge for the Student Awards competition. That's a fun category because you get to see some really good prints from schools. There were less Golden Image entries this year, and the days of having what looked like hundreds of killer black shirts are pretty much gone. In fact, this year all the entries fit on one long wall. There was the usual good stuff, and then there was stuff that was off the chart. There was more high-density prints than I can remember, and some were simply outstanding. I'm a member of the Academy of Digital and Screen Technology, and we have our yearly dinner and presentation at the SGIA show. It's a great chance to get together with lots of movers and shakers and industry veterans to socialize and talk about the latest technologies. Many of the members are international, and we all look forward to catching up with them. Next year, SGIA is going back to Las Vegas, which is a great show city. But I think the 2013 version of the SGIA Expo was a great success, and I'm glad I went. This is Scott Fresener for t-biz Network and t-biz TV.